Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're uncovering the shocking truth behind Black Friday, the biggest shopping day of the year. You think it's all about great deals? Think again. I'm about to reveal 5 incredible stories about Black Friday's origins across the globe, from police nightmares to fake discounts and anti-consumerism protests. The truth is far darker than you imagined. Let's dive into the hidden history of Black Friday. Let's start with the shocking origin most people don't know. You think Black Friday was created by retailers? Wrong. The term actually dates back to the 1960s in Philadelphia, and it was a total nightmare. The Philadelphia police coined the phrase to describe the absolute chaos that erupted in the city right after Thanksgiving. We're talking monster traffic jams, endless lines, and constant violations. Officers dreaded this day because the city became completely unmanageable. Police were forced to work grueling 12-hour shifts with no breaks. Shoplifting skyrocketed and accidents multiplied. For the authorities, Black Friday was all about just trying to survive the chaos. But the retailers hated this negative image, so they cleverly reinterpreted the name, linking the word black to accounting. They spun the story that it was the day they moved from red numbers, meaning losses, to black numbers, meaning profits. They successfully transformed a day of dread into a symbol of success. But always remember, Black Friday was originally a term feared by the very people trying to keep order. Now let's talk about how Black Friday conquered the world, because it wasn't always welcomed with open arms. Many people think it was invented just for Thanksgiving, but massive November sales already existed in several countries long before Black Friday became a global phenomenon. In England, for example, Boxing Day in December triggers very similar scenes. Huge crowds stampeding into stores, people camping out overnight, and massive discounts creating an absolute shopping frenzy. When Black Friday started spreading globally around the 2010s, it actually faced a lot of resistance. In France, the term Vendredi Noir, or Black Friday, was historically associated with national tragedies. So French consumers were understandably confused and skeptical. Some retailers even had to rebrand it as Big Friday or French Days to avoid those negative connotations. In Germany, it clashed with strict Sunday shopping laws and consumer protection regulations. Germans were generally suspicious of what they saw as aggressive American consumerism. So, if Black Friday is now a global event, it's because it had to go through multiple adaptations just to survive. In Brazil, it became Esquenta Black Friday, which includes pre-sales. And in China, it has to compete with Singles' Day on November 11th, which is actually a much bigger shopping event. This globalization shows that while shopping culture is universal, the way we express it can vary dramatically depending on where you are in the world. Black Friday has also transformed into a symbolic battleground. On one side, you have exacerbated consumerism. People camping out for days, literally trampling each other for TVs, and spending money they don't even have. But on the other side, powerful protest movements have emerged. Enter Buy Nothing Day. It's deliberately held on Black Friday and encourages people to buy absolutely nothing for 24 hours. Activists dress up in costumes, stage sit-ins to block mall entrances, or offer free gifts on the street to demonstrate alternative values. In some cities, they even project messages onto store windows, asking questions like, "Do you really need this?" or "Who made your clothes?" These protests have gained some serious traction. In Canada and the UK, Buy Nothing Day has become a counter-cultural tradition with thousands of people participating. Artists create flash mobs inside stores, performing to disrupt the flow of shopping and make people pause and think. Some even organize gift swaps or repair cafes where people can fix their broken items instead of just buying new ones. This duality reveals that Black Friday has become just as political as it is commercial, sparking debates about our consumer society, environmental sustainability, and economic inequality. Even some retailers have joined the resistance. The outdoor company REI closes all of its stores on Black Friday and actually pays its employees to spend the day outside. Patagonia has even run ads telling people not to buy their products. Now let's head to Latin America for a truly shocking story. When Black Friday arrived in Brazil around 2010, consumers were thrilled at first, but they quickly realized that something was very wrong. Many of the so-called discounts were completely fake. Here's how the scam worked. Retailers would artificially inflate their prices in the weeks leading up to Black Friday, sometimes even doubling them. Then, on the big day, they'd drop the prices back down to normal and advertise massive 50 or 70% discounts. This practice became known as Black Fraud or Black Fraud, and it sparked massive public outrage. Consumer protection agencies launched investigations, and trust in Black Friday completely collapsed. But Brazilians fought back brilliantly. Independent platforms were created to track real discounts. Websites started monitoring prices for months, creating databases that showed the price history of different products. This allowed consumers to check if the deals they were seeing were legitimate or just a fraud. These platforms became incredibly popular, with millions of users. The government also tightened regulations, requiring much clearer price disclosure, and some stores were hit with heavy fines. Since then, the relationship between Brazilian consumers and Black Friday has been complicated, and savvy shoppers everywhere now use price tracking tools before making any Black Friday purchases. What was meant to be the ultimate shopping day became a powerful lesson in consumer skepticism. Finally, let's talk about the absolute madness and some of the jaw-dropping records. In 2011, more than 226 million people participated in Black Friday, generating over $52 billion in sales. That's more than the GDP of some entire countries. But it's the behavior that's truly fascinating. Some stores open at midnight, which has triggered a whole camping culture. Families will set up bivouacs in parking lots the night before with tents, sleeping bags, and heaters, camping out in freezing temperatures just to be the first ones in the door. They treat it like a festival, even forming little communities. But when those doors open, all bets are off. Viral videos show the chaos. Doors being ripped right off their hinges. Stampedes of people trampling everything in their path. Intense fights over TVs, and people using shopping carts as battering rams. In some tragic cases, people have been seriously injured or even killed. Back in 2008, a Walmart employee was tragically trampled to death when crowds broke down the doors. This feverishness borders on the absurd. Entire families will queue up in the freezing cold, regardless of whether the deals are even that good. The event itself becomes more important than the actual purchases. Psychologists explain this as a combination of a scarcity mentality, our competitive instinct, and a serious case of FOMO, all triggering our most primal responses. And here's the twist. Studies show that many shoppers don't actually save money. They buy things they don't need, and often find better deals at other times of the year. But the perception of winning a deal provides a dopamine rush that keeps them coming back for more. So there you have it. Our journey through the dark and fascinating secrets behind Black Friday comes to an end. From its origins as a police nightmare in Philadelphia, to its controversial global expansion, from protest movements challenging consumerism, to the Brazilian fraud scandals, and finally to the record-breaking madness that defines modern shopping culture. Black Friday is far more complex and troubling than those cheerful advertisements would have you believe. But wait, you think this was crazy? The dark origins are just the beginning. In my next video, I'm revealing the most insane and bizarre Black Friday stories you've ever heard. We're talking about a man dressed as a turkey, handing out hot chocolate shoppers, racing each other in panda costumes, a store that only accepted customers dressed as unicorns, and a story about friends who ended up tangled together under a pile of furniture. Trust me, you do not want to miss part 2. It's going to be absolutely wild. If you enjoyed uncovering the truth behind this shopping phenomenon, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the insane stories coming next. Tell me in the comments, do you participate in Black Friday or do you join the Buy Nothing Day protesters? Have you ever been scammed by fake discounts or witnessed the chaos firsthand? Share your stories. The world of commerce hides countless secrets just waiting to be revealed. See you very soon for the craziest Black Friday stories ever. Buy